Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is going to be a DVD review of Chikarasaurus Rex. This is available right now at smallmarkvideo.com. You can pick it up already. The show took place on Sunday. They got it out on DVD right away, which I think is awesome. I think a lot of other independent companies need to get their DVDs out a little bit quicker. I think DVD sales will go up and the interest for the shows will be a lot higher. So, but you know, it's kind of unfair to compare ROH, PWG, and Dragon Gate to Chikara because Chikara's DVD authorization process and Small Mark Video in general, they just get them out quicker because, you know, if you know this, you know, all the Small Mark Videos releases are 2 discs long, so they can't fit over 2 hours on each disc. So, you know, they're pretty much, I think their DVD are Ring of Honor, you know, Dragon Gate, some of their DVDs go over, you know, the 3-hour mark, so obviously they're officially made DVDs. So it's just a different DVD process. So if you know anything else about DVD authorization that I'm leaving out or that you could add to for the video, just post in the comment section below. But let's get right down to the show. This show was kind of disappointing. You know, Chikara was hailing this as their biggest show ever, their biggest show of the year, their WrestleMania, so to speak. And you know, I just didn't get that. I wouldn't even say it was the best Chikara show of the year. I thought King of Trios as a whole was definitely a lot better than this, and even a touch of class, and even the show with verve and a bit of nerve. I thought that show was probably even better than this as well, but it was still a solid show. A lot of people were complaining that, you know, there wasn't a lot of storyline progression on this show. It didn't feel like a Chikara show, but honestly, there is some must-see stuff. There's some must-see storyline progression with F.I.S.T. There's a huge angle there, and you get some stuff with the B.D.K. and Pinkie Sanchez, which is pretty much essential stuff. So there is some storyline stuff, but overall, this is more of a wrestling show. Obviously, you got the Dragon Gate guys on this show, so obviously not every single match was going to have, you know, storyline continuity attached to it. But let's get right down to it. The first match was Fire Ant, Green Ant, Soldier Ant, and Frightmare teaming up. So we had the Colony teaming up with Frightmare from Incoherence to take on the B.D.K. stable of Lince, Dorado, Donst, Pinkie Sanchez, and Tursas. This is an excellent opener. I would actually say this is the best Chikara opener of the year so far, even better than the mid-condition match. The Big Rat actually said he preferred the mid-condition match, but I would actually say this was the best Chikara opener of the year so far. Just an extremely fun match. You know, a lot of high-flying maneuvers out into the crowd. I thought Frightmare was actually the MVP of this match. I just thought he looked great. You know, the Colony hit some nice double-team stuff. You know, Pinkie Sanchez looked pretty good out there. I mean, the B.D.K. looked like a dominant stable. So, and then there was a segment afterwards with Pinkie Sanchez and the B.D.K. And so that was a good storyline progression. So yeah, I mean, this whole opening match was pretty solid. I would probably say it was the second best match on the show, about a solid 3.5-star match. All right, next up we actually had Shingo taking on Equinox. This match felt kind of random to me. I just got the feeling that they didn't know what to do with Shingo, so they just put him in this match. Equinox looked like he gained a lot of weight. But the overall match was solid. You know, it was a pretty hard-hitting match. The crowd just didn't give a fuck about it, but it was still pretty solid. The crowd got into it when Equinox actually kicked out of Shingo's finisher. Looked like it was going to become a really good match, but then it kind of ended, and just wasn't much to talk about here. All right, next up we actually had Sara and Daizee Haze taking on Amazing Kong and Raisha Saeed. Yeah, I mean, it was solid. I mean, this is a little bit better on paper than it actually was. You know, there was a must-see spot with Daizee Haze. Daizee Haze actually, well, Sara actually did a bicycle kick to Amazing Kong, and then Daizee Haze actually did a German suplex and bridged up at the same time and pinned Amazing Kong to win the match. I mean, that was an awesome spot. Pretty much the only highlight of the match. The overall match was kind of dull. You know, just one other thing about this show, I agree with some of the other guys. The crowd was kind of mediocre. I mean, the thing about Philadelphia, they get so many shows now, so it's like, you know, they see everything. They get the Dragon Gate pay-per-views, they get the biggest Chikara shows, they get the ROH on HDNet taping. So I just get the feeling that the overall Philadelphia crowd is a little bit burned out. I just think they could have been a little bit hotter for this match because, you know, you get Sara and Amazing Kong going at it. You know, when New York got to see that match, they were going apeshit. Okay, so next up we had the F.I.S.T. team of, you know, Icarus, Gran Akuma, and Chuck Taylor. They took on the Dragon Gate team of CIMA, Masaaki, Mochizuki, and Super Shenlong. Actually, Dragon Kid was supposed to be in this match, so Super Shenlong replaced them. And, you know, if you've been following the F.I.S.T. storyline on ChikaraPro.com, they've been writing blogs, and they've been kind of arguing with each other ever since they lost to King of Trios. So obviously they've been kind of foreshadowing a split between F.I.S.T. But, you know, this match was kind of disappointing to me. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the F.I.S.T. versus Osaka Pro match from King of Trios. As far as the actual match goes, yeah, I mean, there was some good stuff in there. Mochizuki's in there. I thought him and Granite Kuma were pretty stiff with each other. That was good stuff. I mean, but aside from that, there's nothing about this match that stands out. I thought CIMA probably looked more impressive than anyone, actually. But, you know, there was a huge turn here. They actually turned on F.I.S.T actually lost the match, and after the loss, they turned on Granite Kuma, kicked him out of the group, and Johnny Gargano is actually his replacement. They gave him, you know, Granite Kuma's pads, and now, you know, Johnny Gargano is officially part of F.I.S.T. So that was a pretty big deal. So Granite Kuma's gone from F.I.S.T. That's pretty much it. So let's move on to the next match. Next match was actually, it was Osirian Portal teaming up with Drake Younger to take on Colin Delaney, Stigma, and Vin Gerard of the Unstable. Surprisingly, this match was good. It was very, very solid. I'll probably give it maybe a 3.5 stars. You know, I think the Unstable and the Osirian Portal had a solid match, you know, earlier on in the year, which was a little bit better than expected as well. So these two teams worked pretty well together. Just a lot of high-flying action, just flowed really nicely. There were some nice hardcore spots. I think Drake Younger actually took a power driver from Stigma on the outside on the steel guard on the steel steps, I think. So just a lot of tremendous action. There was actually some pretty good storyline stuff in here as well that they explained on commentary. They said Vin Gerard and Drake Younger actually have been feuding since 2008, so this is kind of like where they finally meet again. So they talked about that, and it was just a pretty solid match, a little bit better than expected, probably one of the brightest spots on the show, but still not amazing though. So next up we actually had Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Kingston teaming up to take on Aries and Claudio Castagnoli. They set this match up at the anniversary show, and this was, I mean, nothing much to talk about. You couldn't expect anything amazing. Tommy Dreamer actually is only 38 years old. I'm surprised by that. I thought he was a little bit older, but I don't know, he just doesn't have a lot left in the tank. This match was kind of sloppy, not a lot of intensity. It was good for what it was. A little bit dramatic, though. There was a lot of good drama here. You know, the B.D.K has their own referee now. I can't remember his name. It's just not coming to me. But, you know, their referee provides a lot of drama. It's what made the match interesting. The interaction between the ref and Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Kingston is what pretty much made the match memorable. You know, there was just a lot of good drama in this match, but still, you know, as far as the actual wrestling goes, it's not something we're going to remember. So I'll probably give maybe a solid 3 stars. All right, next up we had the main event. We had the match of the night, and pretty much the only reason to buy this DVD, actually. So you had Hallowicked, Quackenbush, and Jigsaw taking on Masato, Yoshino, B.B. Hulk, and Naruki Doi. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's just, on paper, this just sounds like a main event rematch. Even for Dragon Gate USA, this would be probably a solid match that they could put on pay-per-view. But honestly, I was kind of disappointed. You know, Honor Hammer said that this was probably the best match in Chikara history. But in my opinion, this is my opinion. I don't even think it's the match of the year for Chikara. I would actually prefer the B.D.K. Colony matches from King of Trios over this. But still, I mean, it was amazing action. It started off kind of slow, and then it picked up. You get your usual great Dragon Gate stuff. You know, Yoshino just looked incredible out there. B.B. Hulk actually cut his hair. Looks totally different now. He doesn't look any different than Masaaki Mochizuki. He looks pretty much like the same guy. I mean, he pretty much just looks like a generic Japanese wrestler now. You know, I know I said in the past that, you know, B.B. Hulk had kind of a feminine look to him, which is kind of a turnoff considering he's the Dragon Gate USA champion. But now he just doesn't stand out anymore. So I don't know. But the action was good though. Jigsaw looked impressive. He busted out a lot of nice spots. The exchanges between Quackenbush and Naruki Doi to end the match were pretty awesome. That ending sequence was beautiful. But yeah, I mean, this match was solid. I'd probably give it a solid 4 stars. But I'm not going to say that this is anywhere near as good as last year's Chikara match of the year with El Generico, Jigsaw, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. I just don't think it really compares to that match. But it's still an excellent match. I mean, watching this live, I imagine this must have been, you know, breathtaking, because, you know, it's kind of a little bit reminiscent to, you know, the traditional 6-man Dragon Gate matches. You know, very, very similar to that kind of stuff. So I can see why a lot of guys were high on it. But overall, I mean, this show was good. I'd probably give it maybe a 7.75, maybe an 8.0. So that's pretty much it. Chikarasaurus Rex. Check it out, smallmarkvideo.com. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.